All right, so just another follow-up video to Apex Technology Acquisition Corporation, APXT, and AvePoint. First, I want to talk about how I sold 1,000 shares for a profit, and I'll go through the numbers in that in a moment. Secondly, I got temporarily banned from stock twits. I was posting some bearish things about Apex when the whole 90%, 99% of the posts are all bullish, and I think maybe someone reported me there. And I'm going to talk about, once again, my thoughts on the valuation of Apex and why I see it as a risk. So if this sounds good to you, stay tuned. So today I sold 1,000 shares of Apex. And before I go any further, let me just explain. I am not an American, and my brokerage account does not allow me to trade options in the US stock market. So that being said, I don't really care if the price goes up or goes down. It doesn't impact me. I no longer have a position, and I have no way to short the stock. So I'm going to explain a little bit why I sold today and the risks associated, what I believe, with the current valuation. But first, let me go over the sale today. So, as I mentioned before, I bought 1,000 shares on Friday for $14.65. This morning at market open, I sold 500 at $16.80, and then shortly thereafter, I sold the rest for $15.25. My total cost was $14,650 to buy the initial 1,000 shares, and the total selling price was $16,025. So my profit was $1,375. So not an amazing profit, but not bad for just 3 days, a quick in and out. And if the share price comes down a bit, I might look into it again, but it's a bit over my risk appetite. So recently I joined up to the Stock Twits website. It's kind of cool. You can talk about individual stocks, and it's like Twitter. So you just post your idea. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? And it's quite an interesting community, to say the least. And what I noticed on here is a lot of pumping. So right now we're on the APXT page, and you can see all these people talking about, pumping this up. And, there's some really ridiculous comments in here. Some of them might come true. So like the $20 by the end of the week, that might come true. But it doesn't mean that the company is valued at $20. And I'm going to talk about this in a moment. So what happened with me is I've been posting a couple of bearish things about Apex because, I feel like it's, it could be useful information, and, and I want to participate in the community. And so shortly after I posted this here, sold out at $16.80 and at $15.30. It should be 25. Good luck. And my thoughts, this is not Snowflake. This is a Microsoft reseller. Simple as that. How can Apex have a market cap of $700 million when you only get 17% of the new company, AvePoint? A $2 billion company, that would mean AvePoint would have to be valued at $4 billion or 20 times 2021 estimated revenues for a company selling and servicing Microsoft products. So that's pretty bearish. And, I understand people are invested and they want the stock to do well, and I want it to do well as well. And I could be wrong and I could be misunderstanding, but I'll tell you a bit more about how I come to these numbers in a moment. So shortly after, as soon as I posted this, I got banned. And I don't know if it's because these people that are bullish banned me, or if it's because my account's new, but I managed to get it unlocked again. But I just thought that was kind of funny. And, if you want to follow me on Stock Twits, you can search for my username, Invested. And I'm going to be sharing, what I'm bullish on, what I'm bearish on, and I've been commenting with other people about their questions and what they, for stocks that I'm heavily following. All right, so lastly, coming down to the numbers of Apex and AvePoint. So as I mentioned before, the valuation for this company right now is very high, and I'll tell you why. Right now at $15.50, the company is valued at $690 million. Now, this is not AvePoint, right? So this is nothing to do with the $2 billion valuation of AvePoint. This is purely for APXT. So what this means is when the companies finally merge and AvePoint goes public sometime next quarter, people who hold APXT will get 17.6% of the new company AVPT, AvePoint. Now, when this was all put together, they valued AvePoint at $2 billion. But with this current stock price of $690 million, that would put the valuation of AvePoint closer to $4 billion. And I'm going to tell you how we come to this calculation. So if we take $3.9 billion and we divide this by 17, well, if we get 17.6% of $3.9 billion, we would get $684 million, which is what the current market cap is here. So basically, you would need, when this company launches, this new company AvePoint, when this company launches, it would have to automatically have double the valuation of what's in here. Now, this is not impossible. So don't get me wrong, it's not impossible, but it just makes the risks a lot higher. So if, when they first did this valuation, they did it at 9 times the 2021 estimated revenue of $193 million. But the current price that's trading for Apex is more closer to 20 times. So if you 20 times $193 million, you get closer to that $3.9 billion valuation. So what the risks are, in my eyes, and I could be completely wrong, okay? I could be wrong. But what I'm thinking is, when AvePoint goes live next quarter, if the valuation, the valuation is theoretically it should come live with a $2 billion valuation. But if it doesn't come live with double this, around $4 billion, then everyone who's buying this at $15 up, is going to have a bad time. So as I mentioned in my video on last Friday, if you had bought the company in this period, during the week before all the hype train started, that would have been great. And I'm going to be honest with you, I bought 1,000 shares around Friday at the $14.65 point. And it was only after I did a bit more research throughout the day that I realized, well, actually, it's kind of a risky position. And, in this day and age, it's not that risky because you've got all these people pumping the stocks up. So people from Robinhood and Reddit, they're all pumping the stock up. But, it could easily come crashing down. So, I bought in 1,000 for $14.65. I sold out today with some profit, and I'll keep my eye on it. But I think the best time to enter this company, especially if you're long, the opportunity to buy has already passed. This was the opportunity to buy. The next opportunity to buy will be when AvePoint comes online and you can trade through the AVPT ticker symbol, in my opinion. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an expert. You have to do your own research and come up with your own ideas. I'm just sharing and putting my opinion out there because all I see on Reddit and stock tweets is a lot of pumping and some people saying crazy things like it should be worth 100 billion. And finally, you cannot compare this company, even though they have good revenues, they've got good client base, you cannot compare them to Snowflake or Cloudflare or Fastly, because what they are doing is they are helping, for example, NBC, they want to use Microsoft Cloud. AvePoint comes along and helps them to use Microsoft Cloud. They're not using AvePoint Cloud or some product from AvePoint. It's the same thing with Salesforce. So what AvePoint, they're a great company, don't get me wrong, it's a great company, but Snowflake and these other cloud companies, they have a huge potential because they have their own technology. And so if their sales increase, they're not paying 1% off to Microsoft or Salesforce or another third party. So that is where the risk is. So they've got all these great clients, and that's great because Disney, they need help with their Office 365. They need help with their email. They need help with their, their data and all that stuff. But these companies are all Microsoft clients. These companies could be all Salesforce clients. They're not exclusively AvePoint clients, and that's my point. So this company, it's a great company, good revenues, but I feel like this is a blue chip stock. This is not a heavy growth tech stock. This will be more blue chip than growth, and that's just my opinion. So I could be wrong, and take into consideration the valuation, take into consideration that you're only getting 17.6%. Take into consideration that the valuation here is $2 billion. So we're not just talking about, it went up, 500 million, or it went up 1 billion. Right now, it's getting close to the $4 billion valuation, and you could be in for a real shock come the first quarter next year when AVPT comes online and it doesn't get that $4 billion valuation, because you have to think all these people, the existing AvePoint shareholders, they might want to sell out if it's going to be worth double than what they've been told. So I could be wrong. I could be right. It's just another opinion from a guy on the internet. And let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to chat with you down below.